YouTube as well.
Here's another
So that if you have somebody who says, oh, Josh, I missed it, they can look at it on YouTube. And also, if you, let me come back to it, I'm still logging it in. There we go. All right. Okay.
If you're in the witness protection program, you might want to turn off the video.
Correct.
Okay, so there is a delay in the YouTube stream. So it's not exactly live. It's weird. It's live-ish.
People are logged in.
And Linnell. So just to remind everybody, because Linnell just came in, we are live streaming on YouTube. So I'm going to try not to
I
swear.
know how to do that, but I don't. Do you have the thing?
I'm not here anyway.
All
All right. So
good morning anyway.
What?
I said, good morning. I'm glad I'm not in witness protection, Joyce, but I'm not going to show my video.
Now, no.
Are you eating breakfast?
No, but I'm not dressed.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
TMI.
No,
All righty.
That's what you got.
So let's get started. First with,
I didn't put that.
we're going to talk about problems with Google. So I'm going to share screen
I'll show you the.
and we're going to hop into my inbox and then go to what Linda Pollock sent me, which was from Malwarebytes, always a great resource. And it was an article, U.S. residents targeted by utility scammers on Google.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so malicious ads related to the utility bills, electricity and gas, victims' call centers where scammers would collect their identity and try and extort money from them. So, and it was targeting mobile phones. And notice again, here we go with the sponsored ads. We've talked about sponsored ads fairly recently, I think within the last month. So I'm going to send this article with the weekly email update, and I'm not going to read it to you, but the thing I will say about it is that, we'll stop the sharing, is that when we go to do a search and there are sponsored ads at the top, then you want to be careful. Even if it looks legit, it might not be legit. So case in point. Morning, Andy, and maybe Renee in the background.
She's coming.
Okay.
Right.
So if I go to open up just a Google search, let me move this out of the way, and we type in an ad for, let's see, I'll go Duke Power. That's a local energy company here. Well, there is no, that's might be too specific. There's no sponsored ads for that. It goes right to Duke Energy and nothing else. Give me a search topic. Shout it out, anything.
Hotels.
Hotels. Good one.
I love
Okay.
Clarksburg.
All right, right off the top,
That's
thank you.
it.
That was a great one. Right off the top, we get sponsored right here, hotels.com. I look and I see HTTPS, which is security, hotels.com, looks legit. If I click the three little things over here, it's going to tell me about ads, why this ad, my ad center, and I can customize my ads when I'm doing a Google search. Next one down, sponsored, Capital One Shopping. That's our next topic, by the way. Is there any other? Nope. Then it goes right to hotels.com, not sponsored. Notice the difference. Hotels.com, hotels.com sponsored. From what I'm reading these days, what we what the preferred method of searching is, morning Amy, is to not do sponsored ads. Don't click on the sponsored ads. Stay away from them, because there is one of the latest new hacks. It's hard to keep up really with what the scammers are able to create these days. And so it's just a constant battle to see what's happening out there. And sponsored ads are looking exactly like all of the other content. And it looks just like the legitimate one. But underneath that is fake code, which puts you to a site that is fake, which then can collect your personal information. And if you're shopping, it can collect whatever information you put in, like your credit card information, passwords. If you're logging in, if you have hotel.com account, like for instance, I have an Expedia account. If I think I'm going to Expedia and I click on sponsored ad for Expedia, that might not be Expedia. So ignore them entirely, scroll down. That's one of the safest things that we can do anytime we are online at all, is to go slow.
Where is that?
Okay. The internet works so fast now. Everything happens fairly instantly that we tend to get caught up in the impatience of it. But if we just take a breath, stop, look and see what's actually being presented, making sure that is that the actual website? You know, if you're going to go to a sponsored ad content, is there a period in between those words that doesn't belong? Is there an extra S? I've seen some examples of people who had gotten scammed, and it was like, you know, I'll just make this up, Just Older Youths Incorporated, and not noticing that there's an S in there that is not part of Just Older Youth name. And they click on that one because they're in a rush and it looks legitimate. And now all of a sudden you're on a site that's just collecting data from you. So very important, use your eyes before you use your fingers. I tell people don't get click happy. Okay. Whether it's click or tap or however you're doing it, whether it's on a computer or on a mobile device, just slow down, take a breath, look and see what's in front of you before you rush through things. Okay. The internet's fast enough. You're not going to, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and a lot of heartache if you are actually looking at stuff. So sponsored ads through Google, and I will send that link. Thank you, Linda, for Malwarebytes as always. That's good information. Next one, let's talk about Capital One shopping for a second. That was a question that Linda had brought up. Close that one. And I actually looked, oh, not that one. Okay, we'll go here. What I did was Clark Howard. Oh, I know where it is. I'm sorry. I had sent myself. So when I looked for these things, Capital One shopping, first of all, there was a great article by Forbes Advisor about it. Now, in terms of money things, I tend to think that Forbes has some good information. Oh, go away. Ads, ads, ads. So there, I'm going to send you a great information about what is Capital One shopping, and it tells you all about it. Linda had alerted me to this. And then the other one, and does anybody use it? Go ahead and speak out.
I mean, our charge card Capital One?
But it's Capital One shopping, separate from the charge card.
Oh, thank you. No, I got the charge card.
Okay. So what I generally do when posed with a question, I do a general search first. And then if I think Clark Howard's going to talk about it, I'm going to look to Clark Howard because I absolutely do trust Clark. And so I looked, and sure enough, there's an article right here. This one's even better. 3 free tools to find secret codes and discounts while shopping online. Microsoft Edge shopping. So I didn't know about that one. And second one down, it tells you the pros and cons of how it works. Capital One shopping. And then the third one is, there's the pros and cons, is called Honey. So, are you seeing this?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
It would help if I hit share screen when.
Maybe.
Okay, number 3 is Honey. Okay,
Yeah.
it is available for Chrome, Firefox, Opera, and Microsoft Edge. And there is the Capital One. Sadly, Clark Howard does have a lot of ads, but it's good stuff. Capital One shopping, there's information about that one. And then here is the Microsoft Edge shopping one right here. So I'll send you this article as well. Basically, my understanding of how these work is that you sign up for the service, and when you are shopping online, it will scan for the best deal, regardless of where you're shopping online for it. So you put in you have to have an account, of course. You've got to put in your information. You are asking them. Now, Amy, thank you for that. You have a Capital One card. So there's already a certain amount of trust for Capital One. You have their credit card. Do I have Capital One? No, I have a couple others. I like their ads though. They have cool ads. But so I would assume that you would have an automatic kind of trust because you trust them with your money. So
And what makes it, not to interrupt, but it's
Yeah.
called a Visa Capital One. So then it
Okay.
like conglomerates everything together.
Mhm.
If you want to address that.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Banking. I don't
Banking.
understand banking at all.
Okay. Thank you for your honesty.
We'll have to get a financial advisor class for that. But good point. But so what they're going to do is they will tell you what the best deal is. Now, one of the things you're going to have to do if you pick one of those online shopping things is you're going to have to allow pop-ups both on if you're doing it on your browser, you do your shopping mostly from your computer, like what we're looking at here, or if you're doing it from your phone, those are actually apps. Okay, so you'll have to go to your app store or your Play Store, and you're going to have to download the app, sign up, get your account. It has nothing to do with the credit card, although it is the same company. It's kind of like, I don't know, Publix sells all kinds of food and has accounts with all kinds of, things. So, Publix has a pharmacy, it has a bakery. You're not going to get your pills in the bakery and you're not going to get bread in the pharmacy, kind of thing. So, it's the same kind of thing. Or USAA has insurance, they have investments, they have banking, different companies diversify. So you don't have to have a Capital One card to have a Capital One shopping account. It can be totally separate. And it will tell you, let's say you're shopping for a laptop and you start looking at the places where you're going to look right away for laptops. You might have a favorite brand, and so you go right to that company. You might go look on Best Buy. You might start reading some reviews on which laptops you like. And then when you start actually shopping, when you have this app, it's going to show you where the best deal is. And if there's a coupon code for it, give you the coupon code for it. And it might be really worth it. According to Clark Howard and according to Forbes, it is really worth it. I have zero experience with it. And I was hoping somebody in the room was using one of these. Anybody?
What was
I
it?
use Honey.
Who do? Linnell, you do?
Yeah.
You like it?
Well, it's sometimes a pain in the you-know-what.
Why?
Well, because whenever I'm doing something, the pop-up comes and says, oh,
Right.
we think we have a better deal, or we think we have coupons. And then they run through all the coupons, and very rarely do they come up with a better deal than what I've already got.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and then the pop-up keeps popping up. That's what I hate about it. Even
Yeah.
when I say no, it comes right back at me.
Mm,
And
yeah.
it'll show me price drop and all this other kind of stuff. And I think
Okay.
also that was an extension that I had to add to Chrome,
Yeah.
not just service.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're on your laptop or computer, it's going to be an extension. If it's on your phone, it's an app.
That mean extension.
So yeah, on Chrome, it's called an extension.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
or on Firefox or Microsoft Edge, all of the browsers have extensions.
I don't understand extensions, sorry.
Extensions are like apps. Computers use apps are neat. Apps are neat little packages of programming that work specifically designed for small display small systems. Extensions are like an app, but for computers, basically the same kind of thing. It's a program that operates on its own like an app does. I mean, they're still working through the internet, but does that make sense a little bit?
Wait, I'm a little confused. So,
You don't
but-
need to know this. She just
Oh.
had a side question.
okay.
Yeah, but
okay.
Jackie
You
didn't
don't
know
need to
either.
know this.
That's good.
Okay, but
Jackie and
like,
Medina are like,
I'm not-
That's for advanced tech class that's going to be on Tuesdays as soon
Okay.
as they get
Oh,
an
man.
advanced tech
all right,
teacher.
sorry, I asked.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But it's just it doesn't affect how you do what
No,
you
I'm just
do,
looking. See,
knowing the difference between an app and extension. But extensions are useful. I will say that much on a computer. They don't work on phones. All right. So, Capital One shopping. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it this week, or maybe somebody else will try it this week. I'm not going to be doing a lot of online shopping. Tomorrow we leave for a road trip. So we're going to be camping a lot, and but there'll still be class next week. So show up.
Mhm.
I'm going to make it my business to be in a good Wi-Fi zone. So show up. So Capital One, somebody want to try it? Amy?
I just have a comment,
Okay.
and I double checked, and isn't it odd that you could do Capital One shopping and not have a Capital One card? Like something's fishy there.
No.
Don't you think they're gonna try to get you to get a
course.
card eventually?
Any of those are going to have ads. They're going to pop up and be in your face. If you are a shopper, if you only buy in brick and mortar stores, these would be useless for you. Is there anybody in the room who doesn't shop online ever? Okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Does that mean just you or you and Andy? Unmute yourself. I'm not sure what this means.
Andy shops online.
Okay. Okay.
His first name's Andy.
So
A-N-D.
it doesn't count, Renee,
Sorry.
if you get him to shop for you.
It's all his stuff that he buys. I don't have him buy anything for me online.
QVC loves me.
Yeah, maybe QVC, but
Okay. So, but for the most part, all of us do a lot of shopping online or some shopping online. Medina.
okay, so I have a question. When you, if you use this Capital One shopping account, do you give them like a specific, like, let's say, I just want a back massager. Do I
Okay.
type that in, or do I type in Homedic, because that's a brand,
Right.
Homedic?
Good question. I
Doesn't
have
have
3. Everybody thought that was the hot Christmas present for the year, so I'll be happy to send one to you. Every time we opened up a gift, it was like, and you had to have that smile. Oh, a back massager. How thoughtful. I don't know. That's an excellent question. Maybe you'll pick one of these.
I'll try it. I don't think I have
Okay.
time to do it this week, but I will try it.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody give it a shot and we'll talk about it again. I'm going to be trying some other things, so I won't have time to do that this week, but let us know. All right. Any other questions about Capital One shopping? And I will be visiting my niece who is the supreme couponer. I mean, she told me about stuff that I had no idea. And it's not just clipping coupons. Now I'm sure she's into the digital thing. So I will ask her what kind of things she uses. So I will at least have some additional coupon savings, whatever tips from Dana. We'll find out what she uses these days. And she is a very savvy person. So they're both young and tech oriented. So we'll figure out some things for saving some money. And do check out, I'm going to send you the thing on Clark Howard. Remember, Clark Howard has always been and started out as a consumer advocate. So if you go to
Yes.
Clark.com, like go read this article, but then go to Clark.com
He does.
and there's just
Yeah.
you could do a search for any kind of thing, but you can also, he has like categories where you go, oh, I want to learn about, this. And he's got tons of information about how to be a savvy shopper and not to be taken. So he's not so much about warning about scammers, although he does. His is more about what's good for people, what's good for you and your wallet, and very, very useful site. So check him out as well. All right, the next question came last week from Linnell, and this was one. She asked the question. I went, oh, I don't know. Those things are annoying. Okay, we'll look into it. And she had asked about e-cards. And I get e-cards from people. I've only gotten from 2 companies, Blue Mountain and Jackie Lawson. I didn't know. So I delved into the question and found that, first of all, there's a ton of e-cards out there, e-card companies. And I'm going to show you what I pulled up. So first thing I did, let's see. All right, so I'm going to save that one. So SendWish Online. This is a blog, and this talks about the 10 best sites for e-cards, both free and paid. Now, this was in 2021, so it's a little bit older. Maybe these won't be valid, maybe they will be, but you can see that they're going to talk about theirs first, sendwishonline.com, Greetings Island, which I've never heard of, OpenMe, Crosscards. There are 10 that I just never knew anything about, but they say they're free. Now there's Blue Mountain down here. In each of these descriptions, it talks about kind of why would you choose this one? There's Hallmark. Of course, I'm most interested in this one, but I'm not going to do this one in front of you because I haven't seen any of it yet. I'm not testing these beforehand. This one is called Wrong Cards. It's sarcasm. So if you have a bit of a twisted sense of humor, I don't know. These will be good for my nephews. I'm sorry I can't celebrate your specific birthday this year, but it turns out that all birthdays matter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with one that I'm familiar with, which is Blue Mountain. And let's see, do they have a link for this? That's not a link. Well, that's kind of rude. All right, they talk about it, but they don't have a link. Now it says, Finest free e-cards have been operating a long time, provide a free trial. There's a large selection of downloaded cards. Cost is $5 a month. If you do an annual subscription, it's $30 a year. And I think that that's the way a lot of them go. Hallmark, of course, we're all familiar with Hallmark. How could we not be? Variety of messages and tones. Plans begin at $5 a month. For $18, you can get a 1-year plan. That's $1 cheaper. That sounds like a pretty good deal, honestly, because my first thought is, oh gosh, really? I mean, an e-card? I'd much rather get the card with the stamp and, the whole 9 yards. But that's because I have a drawer over here. My mom, I'm still working through my mom's card collection. My mom died in 2015. I mostly don't buy greeting cards because I'm still working through her card collection. If you get a card from me, it's likely to be vintage at this point. Regina?
I have used Jackie Lawson for years and
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Okay, maybe the people that receive my cards would much rather have a card coming in the mail, but tough. I love it. In fact, I've sent out for, we had a function at the Keys Jewish Center, and I sent out, I think I sent out like at one time 65 e-cards
Wow.
at one time,
For an invitation?
an invitation to an event. And I love the artwork. The artwork
Okay.
is beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. So, what does Jackie Lawson charge? Is it a subscription?
The subscription, I don't remember because I think I paid for 2 years the last time I renewed,
Okay,
which was a while ago. And of course, if you pay for 2 years, it's cheaper than paying for 1 year.
of course. All right, so.
But it wasn't, wasn't really excessive.
All right, let's see what it says. Join us, prices and membership. Here we go. Membership fees. 1 month is $6, 1 year is 30, 2 years is 45. So from all of the ones that I looked at
Seems like
on that, 10 best ones, AKA free, they were mostly less than $30 a year. We saw 2 right there. One was 18 and one was 19 for a year. But I will say that most of the people that I get e-cards from send Jackie Lawson cards. One of the things Jackie Lawson, and I had read this earlier, they pride themselves on their security. Some of the free ones, as with anything, if we go back to the television model, when you watch CBS, NBC, regular network TV, you're going to get ads, right? If you have a Hulu account, it's not the higher level account, you're going to get ads. So anything that's free, you're going to get ads in some way, shape, or form, because they got to pay the people that are making all of this content. It's just how this works. Nobody works for free to create all that gorgeous stuff. So, so you will get ads with the other ones. You will probably get ads saying, upgrade to a paid account. Just like with many things, we kind of get used to that as well. If we decide to get an app that's free and there's a paid version, if you get the app and you like it, or you sign up for the e-card and you like it a lot, then, it might be worth your while to upgrade to the paid version where it's not really that much money. Because if we think about this for a minute, has anyone bought a card lately? Holy smokes.
I have.
Sticker shock. Sometimes the card
Yeah.
costs more than the gift,
Yeah.
I re-
That's
I
why you have
recycle.
to go to the dollar store and get the
You go to
home
the
card
dollar
at the
store and get a card. You can do that. Jackie.
I received some lovely birthday cards, and one of them, the card was $7.99, and the postage was 89 cents. And I thought,
Right.
wow,
Amy?
it's a gift.
May I offer a suggestion? I save all my beautiful cards I get. I take off the left. And I recycle them. I take off the back page. I make them like a little poster card. And oh my God, if you wait long enough, I never buy cards. And then when it's my sister, I just scratch out whoever sent it to me just to make her laugh hard.
Here's my glue stick.
There, see, have you done that too?
I have.
See?
And it turned out really badly. Blonky.
Well, sometimes I think it's worth it. I got this card for my birthday and I keep it around.
Got music?
Yes.
Woo! I agree. I happen to love the ones that have music players in them. Those are some of my favorites. And so then it is worth it. But for a basic card that just tells a sentiment, I really struggle with that. I think the cheapest one I saw, and then I turned around and walked out and I thought, Mom's got something in that I can. Sadly, Mom is all out of sympathy cards. And as I age, I need more and more sympathy cards. So I might have to go to the dollar store and see what they got. Or I might play with, but e-cards, I don't know.
E-card for sympathy.
Doesn't seem
Maybe
like
not so good.
not so good. Not so good. Yeah.
Now, I
So,
usually, as a sympathy card, I usually send a real card.
yeah. So Joyce, Trader Joe has good cards for cheap. How much? $1? Okay,
Really?
awesome, awesome.
Really?
Okay, so going
Yeah,
back to
got it on
Linnell's
there.
first
Got it
question
on there.
was,
Anyways,
what
yeah.
about these e-cards? I would say that the nice part about them is that you can design your own. You know, they have these templates. You can design your own. Now, let's not forget that there are some other options. Carlene, go ahead. Carlene? Her hand is up. She looks like she's frozen
Yeah.
in time. Speak when you have internet.
Yeah.
Many charities will send you all occasion cards for your donation as well.
Right.
Now,
Right.
the newest cards in my drawer, Amy, are the ones that charities have sent me, not because I sent a donation, but they were hoping for a donation. And I
Right.
said, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Aren't you foolish? I'm going to use these cards and spread your lovely word without giving you any money.
Yep.
But
And
you know, there is
what?
that.
You know, I resent if I'm sending an organization a donation, I want my money to be used for the cause, not for notepads and pens and address labels and, you know, calendars.
That's a good point.
I don't want that.
I
Don't do
agree.
that. Don't do
I
that.
agree. Yep. And that being said, in the other drawer, I have a stack of pads that people sent mom.
Mhm.
You know, some of them still say Betty Kelly on the top. She got a lot of them, you know, or she might have sent them money at one point in time, but then they keep going. So yeah, but I agree. If it's a nonprofit, don't spend your money on that. Habitat. Yeah, I got a bunch of those.
I
I
got
got
that.
those too.
I have Habitat, I have USO, I have a lot
St.
of Catholic
Jude's
charities.
St. Jude's Children's,
St. Jude's.
they send
And
a
then
lot.
I have a lot of
Betsy?
nickels too.
Okay, so
Betsy,
Yeah.
I appreciated that whole thing on e-cards, and I just looked at my email and I realized I wasn't clear with my question.
Ah.
And what I was talking about were virtual credit cards.
Oh.
And I looked at it and I compared it to Apple Pay, but I guess you didn't make the connection there.
Oh, that is
Because
funny.
lately when I've been shopping, which I use, you know, I'm on Chrome, and Google will send me, do you want to make this a virtual card in your account? And I don't know if I do or not. Now I have my credit card, my virtual credit card on my Apple phone, and they use tokens to communicate with the bank from my phone to the bank. Does having a virtual card in my Google account work the same way?
Okay. So that's very funny. I'm looking at it now too.
It was my mistake. I wasn't clear. Hey, you don't
Well,
have to
no,
go back
I
and look
see
at it.
And it says, does this work similar to how Apple Pay works on my phone? And I thought that you meant, and I guess I should have clarified, I thought that you meant in regards to how you pay for a virtual card account, an e-card, you know.
No. That's okay. Communication is everything, you know?
That's a really good question. So I went off on e-greeting cards, and you'll get a lot of information about that, which could be useful information. It's been a good conversation. What Linnell was asking about was using cards on your phone to pay for things, correct?
No, I want to know on my computer, because I'm getting these messages on my computer when I'm purchasing something online on my computer, and I enter my card number, which I have a separate card just for online purchases. And it comes back and it says, do you want to register this card as a virtual card in your Google account?
Oh, sure. That's the same. It's the same as using it on your phone. So let's talk about that for a minute, because Google did just send out a new thing talking about how if you have a Google account, you would have gotten an email that said Google Pay is going away, and that they were not going to be using that anymore. So let's Let me write that down so I can send that to everyone as well. I read it several times because I'm like, this seems unnecessarily complicated. They send you this big thing and it's like, what? What are you talking about? What's going to happen? I don't really understand. I had to read it twice. And essentially what it's saying, so let me see how I can show you this. I don't know if I can show it to you. I can tell you about it. Since we are live streaming, I don't want to get into that and just have it be seen by possibly others. So, I use Google Pay, and let me see if I can pull up the icon for it. So on my phone, the Google Pay icon is right above my finger. Can you see that?
Yes.
That's the Google Pay icon. If I tap on it, it's going to first of all open up my biometric, which is my fingerprint. So I'm going to put my finger there, and then it's going to open up the app. Welcome to Google Pay. And select the country where you live. Really? We've been in this app many, many times. And now it says Google Pay is US is no longer available. You can still tap to pay using Google Wallet. Okay, so then at the bottom, it says go to Google Wallet.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I go to Google Wallet and it says allow Google Wallet to send you notifications. I'm going to allow that because if something is going on in my Google Wallet that wasn't generated by me, I want to know that. So I say yes. If I find that it's just sending me ads or offers or things, then I'll turn that off in settings. But for now, I'll say yes. And it says, and it starts off with which card of mine is on my Google Wallet. And that is my Bank of America card. And it says, don't miss important updates. Get notified when you make purchases, receive flight updates, and more. So then it has manage Google Wallet notifications, and I can tap on that. So, you know, if I'm flying, if I make purchases, do I want to be told through Google Pay that this is happening? Yeah, I think so. So I would probably tap that. Now, in my Google Wallet, besides my credit card, the one that I have there for online purchases, I also have my loyalty cards, my Park and Fly, my Food Lion, my AAA, my BJ's, my Barnes and Noble, Panera, Starbucks, Office Depot, Winn-Dixie, Wyndham Hotels, and Zoetis, which is a veterinary loyalty program. All right, automatically add passes to wallet from Gmail. So if I buy a ticket, then it will automatically, if I click on this and go to my settings, it will automatically put my tickets in my wallet. I can also add my vaccine card to my Google Wallet. So essentially, Google Wallet is a wallet of cards that I don't have to carry physically. How does this work? If I use this to tap and pay, which I honestly don't use tap and pay because I have had it go off when I didn't want it to. I was at a grocery store and I had my phone in my hand. The cashier had rung up the purchase and I was standing too near the reader, and they had a particularly sensitive reader. You know how sometimes with those readers, you're like tap, 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 and it never happens. I wasn't even, I mean, my phone was in my hand and the reader was in front of me. No contact, not even that close. In my opinion, it was more than a foot away, and it automatically rang it up on that credit card. I was like, what just happened? And she said, you're all set, ma'am. And I said, that wasn't how I wanted to pay. I wanted to pay with cash. It happened, and you know, I didn't have time to undo it, so I just let it go. But that's why I don't use tap and pay, because I think that it works too well. However, for online shopping, I do use Google Wallet. I do store my card, and I have more cards that are saved that were in Google Pay. They are not in Google Wallet. Now I just have the one because they closed off Google Pay. I haven't bothered to move them. I don't honestly care. I can just use this one credit card because it's all I use it. I don't take this card and physically shop with it. I only online shop with it. So it's my one card that, you know, is protected from purchases because it's a credit card, not a debit card. And it's just for that purpose. Joyce.
Apple Wallet works pretty much the same way, although not everything easily transfers to the wallet. I mean, sometimes if you buy tickets, not all the tickets will get. But I'll tell you how I learned to use Google Wallet. I never learned until I went to New York City and wanted to ride on the subway. And that's how you get on the subway is with your Google Wallet. They don't have
Really?
tokens or cards
Oh,
or
wow.
anything. You use your Google Wallet.
Huh.
And you just
Interesting.
you just put
But
the
not Apple Pay. It doesn't use
on
Apple.
yeah, you know, I use Apple Pay and my credit card is on it, and I just like you know, you just put it on there's a little thing on the turnstile, and boom, it opens.
Nice, nice. So, to allay any fears about this, because when all of this had first come out, which I guess when I needed to look at it was during the pandemic when we weren't touching anything anywhere, you know, and so many things went virtual and we were using QR codes for stuff. And I really started to look into how does this process happen? And both the credit card companies and the tech experts were telling us that it is safer to use that method of payment than it is to use a physical card. So even if you're standing in the store with your physical card and you take your card and you tap and pay, that is the safest way. So while many of us go, you know, I'm old school, I'm uncomfortable because I don't know how it works or, you know, what's happening with it. When you take a card and put it in a reader, whether you are at a gas station or at, you know, one of those little things that show you how much it is. I don't even know what those are called. You know, in the grocery store, it's right there on the counter and you pay with it right there. By tapping to pay, it is safer. When we owned our store, I asked our bank that was processing those credit card payments, was it safer? And so I had like 3 different verifications that it is safer. And the reason being is because they are not using your actual credit card number to process the charge. Each transaction is a separate one-time generated code for you, your account, that vendor, and your card. So they're all unique and different. So when you take your card, for instance, I can remember in the Keys, there was a couple of gas stations that had fake card readers shoved into the gas pumps. Do y'all remember that? That was 2018 maybe. And so, you know, hopefully we all tend to look carefully when we're at a gas pump because I haven't found a gas pump where the tap works. They have them, but I haven't found one that actually works. I try that first every time, and trying the tap and they don't work. So then I look at where I'm going to insert that card and I look to make sure I don't see anything that's maybe sticking out just a tiny bit where I could pull it out. If you can pull it out, that means that there's a fake card reader in there. And that's how people scam at and steal at the gas pump, is by putting a fake card reader, and they'll come by and they'll pull those fake card readers out and then they will have your credit card information. Joyce, the chip is what's being read. Okay, so the chip is, I don't understand the technology behind it, but it's like it's giving out a small signal.
I thought it was safer than the swiping the card the way you used to do it.
But you're still swiping.
Yeah.
You're still swiping. You're still putting something physically in something that you can't see what's going on in there. So not really. Not according to what the sources tell me, not safer than tapping. Tapping is the safest. So we've got way off. Somebody reel me back in. So if you are paying in person with a card, if you can, tap, because tapping is going to be a one-time, can't be repeated code. that goes between your card, your chip in your card, to the card receiver. Basically, that little thing where it shows the internet looking like thing, that's the receiver of that code on your card, and it's a one-time generated thing for that transaction. And so going back from the back end, your bank sees that it is that one transaction for that one card that you did that one time. Can't be used again. So if you're at a restaurant and you hand the card to the server and they walk away with it, I have a friend that I worked with at Pennicamp who was in Homestead. It was, I want to say it was Olive Garden. He went to Olive Garden, had dinner, coming home over the causeway, the stretch, and his notifications for his credit card started ding, 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 ding. He's like, I'm not using my credit card right now. Used it once for the restaurant. What's going on? Pulled over, looked, and the server who had walked off with his credit card was testing to see if they could use that number. And so they were making small little purchases, generally speaking, and they will do that. They will make something like under, I want to say under $7, although it could be under $5, and they will test to see, is this one going to work? Can I get away with this? And they'll test to see, because that's not going to bring a notification. When you ask for a notification on a credit card, which you all should do, 100%, when you look at your online banking or your credit card and you say receive notifications for purchases, have it set to 0. Okay. For a while, I had it set to $25. I'm like, I don't need to know if I spent $7, whatever. But then I realized that if you have it set to 0, you'll get a notification every time your card is being used. And if somebody's using it to test to see if it's going to work for them, then you want to know right away. Okay. Yes. When you go to a restaurant, ask them to bring the card device to the table. When I go to a restaurant where they just walk over with this little blocky thing and set it down there and they go pay right here, then I compliment them. I make sure I tell not just the server who they got their hands full. I'll tell somebody else, I really appreciate that you have this method of payment to keep me safe, right? I also like it, other companies, because those things are expensive. Those little machines are expensive. When they bring you the ticket and there's a QR code on it, and you can pay just by taking your phone, opening up your camera, and hovering over the QR code on your bill, and it will pop up with an app that will take you to paying for that bill right then and there. And it doesn't look like the restaurant, just so you know. It's not going to be. We went to a Mexican restaurant. I forgot the name of it. And they had the QR code, and I made sure I told the manager, thank you so much, because I scan it, I'm done. You know, the server hands me the bill, I'm done, because I pay it right through the code, which comes right through my Google Wallet, and I'm done. Very safe and secure. You didn't give your card to anybody, and it's all happening digitally. Okay. Carlene, did you ever get where you could say something? Because your hand's still up.
No, because you didn't call on me.
I did.
Yes,
I
you
did.
did.
And you were frozen.
But what happened was I did that as I was leaving the house, and then I got to get to a signal, and I was hoping you didn't call on me yet. Anyway.
I did. What was your question?
It was about Jib Jab. I did that last year for a year. And, it's the one where you put faces on people and they put a song to it for a birthday or any kind of occasion. So that was my contribution. It was pretty fun, but
You like it?
You have to turn any of those off?
So those are for e-cards, bouncing back to the e-card.
they're like videos. Yes.
The
Videos
e-greeting
with
card.
people's faces of whom you know. I send it to my
Yeah.
grandchildren and,
That's fun.
like with a popular song, whatever song. They have lots of songs and you pick the song, you put the faces on, you can put 1, 2, 5, however many. And It was fun, but I don't, I canceled it. So it gets old.
Did it cost?
Yeah, it was $35.
Okay. So
But well
another
worth the cards,
another good
you
one.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for fun. And think about it. If even the cheapest card is $5, and you send cards, bye Denise, bye Barbara, and you send cards, $35 a year divided by 12 is what? 36 into 12 is 3. That makes it $3 a month. That's way cheaper than a card, unless you went to the Dollar Tree, and then you could still, if you bought 3 cards a month, you know what I mean? It's the e-cards are a rather inexpensive way to do it, particularly if you're sending, to people who it's appropriate to. Sending a sympathy card by an e-card, probably not so appropriate. But could be definitely worth it. All right, let's bounce back though and talk about the digital payment. Does anybody have any questions, comments, good stories with it, bad stories with it, or why you don't use it because you don't understand it and don't trust it yet?
So I just want to summarize that Google Wallet and Apple Wallet are basically the same thing, just two different companies doing it.
Difference
Gotcha.
between Capital One Visa and Bank of America Visa.
Yeah. And Joyce, I ran into the same thing when I was in the Netherlands last year. I had to use my phone to get on and off the trams.
Ah, okay. Thank you. Medina?
I have Apple Wallet and I've got 2 credit cards on there, but I don't know how to pay without pulling out my credit card. In other words, can I pay just by using my Apple Wallet?
Mhm.
I don't know how to do that because I
Well-
end up going into my purse and get my credit card.
So, if I were going to do this on a regular basis, like my soon-to-be son-in-law, he uses his watch all the time to pay. In fact, he rarely carries, he didn't even carry his phone with him. He
Wow.
just takes his Apple Watch and boom, pays for everything that way. And if he can't pay that way, then he's looking around going, can you spot me for this? Just convenient for him. But if I were going to use my phone and use Apple Pay or my wallet, first thing I would do is to make it easy, I would put that app. Well, you have an Apple phone. Never mind. For Android people, if I were going to use my Google Wallet, I would put the icon, yes, for my app front and center. I would put it where I could see it easily and not have to be digging around for it. But for me, because I'm not using that often, then I would just go to my wallet icon, which, okay, the Google Wallet icon looks like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would just tap on it. And then when I'm at the store and I'm going to be paying, see right here how it says Bank of America, and then it's got a little tiny icon. That's the payment icon, right? That's when you're at a store and there's a reader there, it's going to have that same icon. It's that like sending out waves or something. And so I can just default for tap to pay. So it tells me right there, it's on. I can see that it's already on. So if I were standing in front of a reader, I'm just going to take my phone and I'm going to put it right over that reader. And then the reader is going to tell me that it saw it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You don't have to do anything other than, you probably don't even have to open it. I have it more closed down because of that experience that I had in the grocery store where it just read it automatically. So I want to physically open it to do it. But I'm sure that you can turn the settings so that you don't have to. Terry.
Hi, sorry, I missed the class. It's a miracle of modern medicine. I could see my doctor while sitting outside the Joy Center and come back at 10
Telehealth.
and
There
to
you
finish.
go.
I also had a brand new phone that I just aligned last night, and I could not get on Zoom. I had to like take my iPad out to the never mind, it was very funny. And I said, do you know, I had to leave tech class. If I had gone to tech class today, I wouldn't have screwed up on my
Well,
doctor
here's the thing,
visit."
Terry. We're live streaming on YouTube. Go to the link afterwards and you didn't miss tech class at all. Right?
I just was laughing about how the idea of missing text.
Okay,
So,
now I have a question.
Okay.
You're
Joyce.
live streaming. That's not the same as being recorded, is it? I don't think so.
No.
I think it's just while it's being streamed that you can see it.
Well, after class happened last week, I went and looked, and the video was right there on the Joy. Let's look.
I think you can set it up to record, Joyce, live stream.
Let's go to YouTube and let's see. So I'm going as I'm not logged in. I'm going to, oh, I am logged in. All right, I'm logged into the Joy YouTube account here, but I'm going to look at your channel since I am logged in, and videos. Huh. That's weird because I also sent you all a link live. There we go. Tech Savvy Seniors.
Okay.
There's 6 days ago, this was streamed and it's an hour and 14 minutes. Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, and that's why I repeatedly at the beginning of class told everybody and made a joke about swearing that we were live streaming on YouTube. But I also sent the link in the email that I sent last week so that anybody could look at it, share it, listen to it again if they wanted to. So test it out. I'm going to send the link again this week and you can test it out and see if it works for you. I'm sure it's not just working for me. Just look under live stream. Yeah. Good question though. I mean, it seems like it wouldn't be. It seems like live stream means live, but it is recording it through YouTube, which is nice because, and you were the one that started this whole conversation with what's live streaming through Zoom. I had to go through a lot of discovery to make this happen. And, but it does work and it doesn't cost anything. And that's an enormous amount of content. An hour worth of video is a lot. And so not having to save it on, you know, the Joy account, it's saved in YouTube. You know, I don't know. Maybe we'll hit a limit with that. I'm not sure what the limits are with that, but we'll probably hit a limit. Anyway, next week, oh, we didn't get to being pawned. Oh, we're gonna have to talk about pawning next week. Jackie.
My daughter has Instagram and she just got hijacked her entire account. And you know how Google says, is this you getting in? And it was in the middle of the night. And when you don't answer that question, the other people have the license to go. So what happened was an ad where my daughter said, look what I did. And it was like a brand new Mercedes SUV that she got with Bitcoin. Now, my daughter's an artist. She's not going to do Bitcoin, but they had taken everything and she spent hours and hours with Meta and all of those things. And they closed, the account is closed and all of her account is gone for years. So just beware that when Google says, is this you? You need to answer that question, you know, because it seems that there's a glitch that they were able to take over her account. So
Yeah.
just heads up, I don't know.
I'm curious how they did that. I mean, surely she has it password protected.
Two forms of verification, yes. And she said the first thing you should do is anything, immediately change your password. But it's been a nightmare for her,
Mhm. It is. It's a nightmare. But did that cost her anything?
She didn't tell me that. She just went through the whole thing yesterday telling me.
Okay.
She has a second Instagram account because she's an artist,
Yeah.
so that she still has that.
Okay.
But they basically got by with it for a couple of weeks. And her friends kept saying, we know this isn't you, Robin. You would never boast about buying something with Bitcoin. They were selling Bitcoin. It took you to
Wow.
all of these
Wow.
different sites. So
Now, recently, as in yesterday, or maybe over the weekend, TikTok was hacked, and what they got was celebrity accounts. And they went directly for celebrities and famous people and so when I read something like that, first thing I do is I go in. I didn't tell you all about it because I'm pretty sure nobody in here has TikTok. I got TikTok so I could learn about it. It's a huge time waster, but there's also some good stuff there. But I immediately went in and checked changed my password and changed my logins and put in 2-factor authentication. I don't do anything on TikTok. I only look at what others do. So I'm not creating any content. So I really wasn't, too worried about anything with that. You can't steal anything if I haven't done anything. But always good to keep an eye out. And I don't trust TikTok. So that's why I'm not doing anything with it. But it is good to keep up for me with what else is happening, So I immediately went in, changed my usernames and passwords and all of that stuff. That is always the first thing that you do. And remember, think about it like we used to think about our smoke detectors. Twice a year, you change those batteries, whether you need it or not. Batteries don't go badly that way. Now, new smoke detectors have built in with 5-year batteries. And so we don't have to think about those anymore. Okay. So we have nothing to remind us when it's time to change our passwords. But you should be changing your passwords regularly. It's a pain in the neck if you're not using a password manager. If you are using a password manager, it's a piece of cake. Okay. Everybody have a great week. Stay
Thank
safe.
you.
I will
Thank
send you
you.
links for all this stuff. Good story, Jackie. I'm sorry for her.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Thank you very
all.
much.
Bye.